Students, I am Jyoti Upadhyay, your science teacher. I hope you are doing good at your home. So, now start study. First of all, we will revise those chapters which we have completed earlier. Okay?
First, let us revise chapter Food. Where does it come from? All living organisms need food to survive and perform different activities. As you know, food is like a fuel for us. There is a lot of variation in the food eaten in different regions of India. The main source of food are plants and animals. You know, we obtain cereals, pulses, grain, vegetables, fruits from plant, and we obtain milk product and flesh meat from animals. Animals which eat only plants are called herbivorous, like goat, deer, buffalo, cow, etc. Animals which eat only animals are called carnivorous, like tiger, leopard, lion, etc. Animals which eat both plants and animals are called omnivorous, like human being, bear, etc. Animals which mainly consume dead bodies of animals are called scavengers, like hyena, vulture, etc. Parasites are small animals that depend upon other animals for their food, like leeches and bug. Let's revise chapter component of food. First of all, we have to understand what is nutrition. Nutrition is a process by which we can obtain nutrients from food. Nutrients are the chemical substances in food that your body needs. Nutrients in food can be grouped under the classes carbohydrates, protein, fats, vitamin, and minerals. Carbohydrate and fat provide energy to the body. Proteins are needed for muscle building and for repairing worn out tissues. Vitamins and minerals are needed for normal functioning of the body. A balanced diet should include food items from three basic groups of food. Deficiency of carbohydrate cause lack of energy and stamina. Deficiency of protein cause kwashiorkor, whereas combined deficiency of protein and carbohydrate cause marasmus. Deficiency of vitamin can cause night blindness, beriberi, anemia, scurvy, and rickets. Deficiency of mineral can cause rickets, anemia, and goiter. Deficiency of water can cause dehydration. Thank you. Hello students, today we are going to study our science topic separation of substances for class 6. As we know in nature, there are varieties of materials like air, soil, water, salt, sugar, etc. We can separate many substances by using their processes or method of separation. A large number of substances need some processing or purification before we can use them. But there is one thing which is also very important, that is purity of a substance. How much a substance is pure should be known. In this slide, we will discuss regarding such topics. Our first topic is mixture, pure substances. We will understand what are pure substances, homogeneous mixture, heterogeneous mixture. Our second topic is why is separation necessary? To obtain useful constituents, to remove harmful substances. Our third topic is method of separation. How we can separate solids from other solids, insoluble and soluble solids from liquids, liquids from liquid. Our fourth topic is why water is important as a solvent. In this slide, we will understand what are pure substances. For a common person, pure means having no adulteration. It means no impurity. But chemically, all these things are actually mixtures of different substances, hence not pure. For example, for a common person, milk is pure form of milk. But chemically, milk is actually a mixture of water, fat, protein. Like that, tap water is also pure form of water for a common person. But chemically, tap water is a mixture of water and many dissolved salts. So we can say pure substance actually means the substance that contain only one type of atom or molecules. Pure substances are further classified as an elements and compounds. we will understand what is an element. An element is a substance that consists only one type or kind of atom. An element is a pure substance as it can not be broken down or transformed into a new substance even by using some physical or chemical means. Elements are mostly metals, non-metals or metalloids. There are some examples of an element: gold, copper, oxygen, chlorine, diamond. Now we will understand what are compounds. Compounds, on the other hand, are also pure substances when two or more elements are combined chemically in a fixed ratio. However, these substances can be broken down into separate elements by chemical methods. There are some examples of compounds are water, salt, crystals, baking soda, etc. You can understand these topics with the help of these YouTube link also. In this slide, we will understand what is mixture. In the chemistry, when two or more substances mix with each other, it results in the formation of a mixture. For example, crude oil, seawater, air. As we know, air is a mixture of many gases like nitrogen, hydrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and many other gases. And crude oil is also a mixture of diesel, petrol, etc. Like that, seawater is also a mixture of water and salt. We can divide mixture in two types: homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. First of all, we will understand what is homogeneous mixture. Sometimes the component is spread over the mixture uniformly and each part of that mixture has the same properties. Such a mixture called homogeneous mixture. For example, when we dissolve salt in water, its particles evenly spread in the water, forming a homogeneous mixture. Air is also a homogeneous mixture. Now we will understand what is heterogeneous mixture. In certain mixture, the components are not evenly spread throughout a mixture and each part of the mixture does not have the same properties. Such a mixture is called heterogeneous mixture. For example, a mixture of sand or chalk in water or smoke mixing with air near a factory. For better understanding of this topic, you can visit these YouTube link also. Thank you. In this slide, we will understand why is separation necessary. Separation is necessary to remove undesirable and harmful substances. For example, the water supplied to your home is cleaned and treated by municipal authorities. It is further cleaned and disinfected by water filters used at home to protect ourselves from various diseases. Next example is air is a mixture of many substances such as gases, smoke, and other dust particles. Human body requires only oxygen for respiration. So our body separate the oxygen present inside the air. Separation is also necessary to obtain useful constituents. For example, there are a number of useful components of crude oil like petrol, diesel, kerosene. These are separated and then used. And we obtain butter by separating it from the curd or milk by the process of churning. We use separation to obtain pure substances. Sometimes pure form of substances are required at home or in laboratory to study the properties. So it is necessary to purify a substance by separating the unwanted substances from it. Now we will understand methods of separating mixture. First of all, we will understand how we can separate solid from other solids by the method of hand picking, threshing, winnowing, sieving, and magnetic separation. Now we will understand how we can separate insoluble solids from liquid by the process of sedimentation and decantation, filtration, loading. Now we will understand how can we separate soluble solids from liquid by the process of evaporation and condensation. How can we separate liquid from other liquids by the process of decantation? In this slide, we will understand what is separation of solid from other solids. First of all, we will Understand what is handpicking. The simple process of separating slightly bigger size harmful substances or other useful substances or impurities like small pieces of stone, husk and dirt from grains of wheat, pulses and rice is called handpicking. In situations when the quantity of such impurity is not very large, handpicking turns out to be time-saving and convenient process of separating substances. Have you ever noticed your mother while she prepare food? When she prepare rice, firstly she take the uncooked rice in a plate and remove something from that. That something are the unwanted substances which should be separated or removed. Undesirable substances such as pieces of stone in a rice or dal can be separated by hand picking. So it is the method of hand picking. For better understanding, you can visit this YouTube link also. Now we will understand what is threshing. This method is mostly done during the harvesting of crops. Normally, the stalk of the wheat are dried once it is harvested. The grain is then separated from the stalk and ground into the flour by beating the dry stalk to shake off the dried grain. You can understand this topic with the help of this YouTube link also. Thank you. In this slide, we will understand what is winnowing, sieving, and magnetic separation. First of all, we will understand what is winnowing. When the grains are collected from the process of threshing, it needs to be cleared out of husk and chaffs before it is turned into flour. Normally, the separation of the mixture is carried out with the help of wind or blowing air. The husk and chaff are blown away by the strong wind when the farmers drop the mixture from a certain height to the ground. The heavier grains are collected at one place as shown in picture. You can understand this topic with the help of this YouTube link also. Now we will understand what is sieving. If the component of a mixture contains particles of different size, we can use a sieve to separate them. The pore size in the sieve depend on the size of the particle of the component to be separated. A sieve having fine pores is used to separate undesirable substances in flour. A sieve having large pores is used to separate stones from sand at construction sites. Now we will understand what is magnetic separation. When one substance in the mixture has some magnetic properties, then this method is quite useful. Strong magnets are commonly used to separate magnetic elements. Now we will understand separating of insoluble solids from liquid. First of all, we will understand what is filtration. The process by which two substances are separated by passing the mixture through a filtering device is called filtration. For example, after preparing tea, we filter out the tea leaves using a strainer. Filtration is also done to remove pulp from fresh juice. Water may also contain solid impurity which can be removed by filtration. During filtration, the insoluble solid is retained in the filtering device whereas the liquid passes through it. Now we will understand what is sedimentation. Sedimentation is a process in which heavier particles of an insoluble solid settle down in a liquid. Such particles that settle down are called sediment. Now we will understand what is decantation. Decantation is a process of pouring out the liquid without disturbing the sediment. Now we will understand what is loading. It is the process of faster sedimentation by suspending alum to a liquid. For better understanding, you can visit to these link also. Thank you. Now we will understand what is evaporation and condensation. First of all, we will understand what is evaporation. The process of changing a liquid into a gas is called evaporation. Condensation. The process of conversion of water vapor into a liquid is called condensation. Evaporation is used to separate solid dissolved in a liquid. When food items are sun-dried, we are actually removing the water content from them through evaporation. Evaporation and condensation are used for separating a soluble solid from water. For example, salt can be separated from a solution of a salt and water by using the combination of evaporation and condensation. Salt is prepared from seawater by evaporation and condensation. Seawater is collected in shallow pits and allowed to evaporate. The water evaporates and crystals of salt are obtained in the pits. The salt is then sent to factories for the further purification. For the better understanding of this topic, you can visit this YouTube link also. In this slide, we will understand separating liquids from other liquids. First of all, we will understand what is immiscible liquid. If two liquids do not mix, they form two separate layers and known as immiscible liquids. For example, cooking oil and water are immiscible liquid. They can be separated by the method of decantation or separating funnel method. Separating funnel is used mainly to segregate two immiscible liquids. The mechanism involves taking advantage of the unequal density of particles in the mixture. Oil and water can be easily separated using this technique as shown in figure. Now understand what is miscible liquid. If liquids can be easily dissolved in any other liquid, then it is called miscible liquid. For example, water, ethanol. You can mix Dettol easily in water, then it is called miscible liquid. Now understand what is saturated solution. A saturated solution is a solution that contains the maximum amount of solute that can be dissolved under the condition at which the solution exists. For better understanding, you can visit this YouTube link also. Now we will understand what is solution, solute and solvent. A solution is a homogeneous mixture of two or more substances. For example, when we mix salt in water, it makes a homogeneous mixture of two substances. A solution consists of a solute and solvent. First of all, we will understand what is solute. The solute is the substance that is dissolved in the solvent. The amount of solute that can be dissolved in the solvent is called solubility. What? The amount of solute that can be dissolved in solvent is called solubility. For example, in a saline solution, salt is solute. What is? Salt is solute. Dissolved in the water as the solvent. And here, water is solvent. For the better understanding, you can visit this YouTube link also. Now we will understand why water is called universal solvent. Water is capable of dissolving a variety of different substances, which is why it is such a good solvent. And water is called universal solvent because it dissolves more substances than any other liquid. This is important to every living thing on earth. It means that wherever water goes, either through the ground or through other bodies, it takes along valuable chemical minerals and nutrients. Thank you. Now we will understand how to prepare a saturated solution. A saturated solution is prepared by continuously adding solute. It can be salt, sugar to the solution until a stage is reached where the solute appears as a solid precipitate. Precipitate means undissolved solid. For this, consider process of adding sugar to a container of water. Initially, the added sugar dissolves as the solution is stirred. Finally, as more sugar has added, a point is reached where no amount of stirring will cause the added sugar to dissolve. The last added sugar remains as a solid at the bottom of the container. Then the solution is saturated solution. You can understand this with the help of this YouTube link also. Now we will discuss factor affecting the point of saturation. First point is, with an increase in temperature, the solubility increases. For example, the solubility of sugar and salt in water increases with an increase in temperature. Second point is, the net dissolving rate can be increased by stirring the solution, which prevents the buildup of solute. There are lots of daily life examples related to saturated solution. Beverages are one of the most widely used and loved saturated solutions like cold drinks. In these drinks, water is a solvent and carbon is bombarded as a solute until the point of saturation is reached. In the kitchen, many cooking recipes involve dissolving of salt, sugar, and other household ingredients into water. This procedure is temperature dependent. As the temperature of water increases, the solubility of the solute increases. After the point of saturation is reached, the solute forms a visible layer on the top of the solvent. Now we will discuss importance of water as a solvent. Water is very much essential for our life. The reason is that it has a very unique property of dissolving a large number of substances in it. It acts as a universal solvent, means it can dissolve a number of substances in it. It also helps in digestion. Important gases like oxygen and carbon dioxide are also soluble in water, hence play an important role in the survival of the aquatic life. Plants also need water because many of nutrients through soil get dissolved in the water. In our body, a number of chemical reaction takes place which also need water. Hence, we can say that water do a number of jobs and is an important part of our life. Thank you. Now it's homework time. Okay. First of all, students, you have to read the chapter thoroughly from book. Do fill in the blanks, match the columns true false MCQ by your own. Very short answers by your own under your parent guidance. And all these questions with the help of these hints. Dear student, it's time to do hands-on what you have learned till now. There are some instructions for the activities. You have to perform following activities under your parent guidance purely at your home. Students should not go out of the house to buy or search for the material required. For the upcoming test, you have to learn chapter Food, where does it come from? Components of food, separation of substances. If you have any query or doubt, send your queries to gupadhyay986 at the rate gmail.com. Thank you. एक बार